Welcome to Concrete Design Systems, where we provide instructional video on how to apply synthetic and plastic coatings over existing concrete, with an emphasis on helpful tricks and tips specially designed for the do-it-yourselfer. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to acid stain a concrete basement floor using multiple acid stain colorants. We'll also share with you some of our tricks and tips and methodologies of how to install this, with tools, supplies, and materials. Hopefully this will be instructional for you and educational and something that will be helpful for you on a project that you have in mind.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, look at this. This is our ebony and turquoise acid stain project after it's been completed. We are going to demonstrate all of the phases from the beginning and to the end so that you can see how this has all been done with all of the tricks, tips, and methodologies that you will need to do a project of your own should you choose to do one.
Very cool. This has actually been a fun job.
This is an overview of the project, and this floor was actually in amazing clean condition when we found it. The owners were super good to go in and do most of the prepping for it. We're going to show you though most floor conditions that we find when we go in to do acid stain on concrete, and we'll show you some of the extreme conditions that are dealt with from time to time so that you know what to do if yours is similar. This will be a quick rundown and overview of all the tools that you will be needing, as well as the materials and supplies for an acid staining project. In most cases, you will be covered with all of these items that we cover here. As we approach the end of our tool list here, just keep in mind that the floor preparation will be a very critical part of success for your acid staining project. The most common of concrete contaminants are sheetrock mud, plumber's ABS adhesive, copper drippings, and paint overspray. Once all the heavy debris is cleared off of your concrete surface, then we recommend that you go over the surface real thoroughly with a shop vac and make sure you get underneath the sheetrock as well. Then you're ready to begin to clean all of the dust and the residue and the fines off with the mopping process. You're ready to begin the next phase of getting the walls all masked with Visqueen so that you can prevent the overspray from your acid staining. And if you've got a mechanical room like this, you want to be sure to cover all of those elements. Once that's all completed, then you can get out your acid stains and you're ready to start mixing them up into your pump sprayer. Once you get them loaded up into your pump sprayer, you're going to want to give your pump sprayer a test drive and make sure that it's getting out the amount of pressure and the spray that you had hoped for your coverage. And now that the floor is cleaned up, we want to be certain that we don't leave any footprints out there, so we wipe our feet off as we go out onto the floor to put the acid stain down. Acid stains are semi-transparent, and so this is the reason for our precaution about footprints and any other contaminants out on the floor. Once you've got that under control, then you can go ahead and spray down, in this case 2 layers of your acid colorant with the ebony and the turquoise. We recommend having these cleats that you can put on your feet so that you can walk out over the acid stain if there are areas that you want to retouch up or areas that you didn't cover thoroughly to your liking. This way you won't end up leaving any flaws or variations in the color that's been placed. We'll let this soak in and dry overnight, and we'll come back and see if it will be necessary for us to neutralize this surface before it's sealed. This job didn't need to be neutralized because there was no residue left behind from the acid stain, but you will find that most concrete that has steel trowel finishes will require neutralization because of a residue left behind from the acid. And you will want to go over it multiple times with hot water if you can use hot water in your buckets, and clean it up super good. If you don't get it cleaned up thoroughly, there will still be some of the acid residue left behind, and it will pick up on your roller. Once you start to put down the sealant, it will absorb into the roller and create these lines that you can see of a stop and a start when you're putting down your seal coat. Now we can begin to mix up the two-part urethane components here and get our product all ready to go. While it's all mixed and ready to go through its induction time, we can prepare the basement with all of the hand tools and brushes and rollers that we're going to need. We do that in advance so that we're ready to go once the 10 minutes is processed for the urethane induction time. Once we get down at the foot of the stairs, in this case in this basement here, we're going to make sure that our feet are covered in plastic. That way we don't leave any footprints in the acid stained concrete. It's important to note this so that you don't have that flaw or variation telegraphed through your urethane seal coat. Our methodology here is to cut in edges first with a brush, and then we go behind it while it's still wet with a roller so that we get the same texture to reflect through when we go over it with the 18-inch roller covers, as you can see here as demonstrated. Once that's dried overnight, we come back in and put a second coat on this. You can do 3 coats if you want, or 4. The more layers you put on it, the richer and more of a sheen that you get with the urethane. You can use a urethane or you can use an epoxy clear coat. In this case here, we've chose to use a urethane to give it a super high gloss finish to it. And this is the end result. This project turned out just magnificent. The colors and the combinations were so magnificent and brilliant that it reminded me of a coral reef in the Pacific Ocean. I hope that you found that video instructional and educational enough for you to be able to get off and running on acid staining a concrete project that you have in mind. If not, take a look in the description down below, and that link will direct you to the Concrete Design Systems website, where you can take a look at the package of the acid staining training course and the 4 easy steps of acid staining a concrete floor, and what is contained in that package in more detail. I think that you'll find that it's extremely comprehensive and will cover every detail that you would ever need to know on how to acid stain a concrete floor. We appreciate you joining us here at Concrete Design Systems at another instructional video where we try to do our best to try to provide helpful tricks and tips to the do-it-yourselfer on applying various types of concrete coatings over existing concrete. Best of luck to you on your projects, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in another Concrete Design Systems instructional video.